Hey guys, so it's bringing you another video. Welcome back to another Q&A. Generally do these every 2 roughly weeks. Sometimes it's shorter, sometimes it's longer. But at the moment, there's a lot going on within League, within balance, opinions, everything. So a lot of people in my streams ask a million questions and I can't answer all of them. So I like doing these to give my opinion, but it's not just to give my opinion. What I like is creating a conversation. So in the comments below, feel free to give your own opinions about some of the things that we ask and answer today. And also, excuse the wet hair, I just came out of the shower after my workout and my workout went really good. But anyway, let's get into it. So the first thing I want to say is actually not a question that I've had here, but I have had, everywhere else. And just to kind of make the announcement if you haven't seen. Huz, are the LP gains broken, or why are the LP gains so low? So a lot of people, there was like 2 kind of groups about this. There was either people that were like me that genuinely thought there was a problem going on because it's been really weird. Or there was the other group of players that was like, there's no problem, deal with it, get better at the game. And worth noting, I wasn't completely like there has to be a problem, because part of my mentality was they did get rid of promos. Maybe the LP gains are just terrible. But a lot of the examples that people were giving just didn't make sense. People with positive win rates having plus 14 LP, losing 19 in the beginning of the season. That just doesn't make any sense. So just to announce, if you've not heard, with this patch we're on now, 11.2, Riot has fixed a bug that was in the MMR system, that basically your MMR was not catching up as fast if you were winning games. So what that meant was, it thought if you were winning, it thought your LP was inflated compared to your MMR, thus making you lose more than you were winning, even though what you were doing was perfectly fine. You should have been just climbing. The MMR system was actually broken. So they tweeted this, of me recording this, they tweeted this yesterday to say 11.2 is including a fix to the MMR system, and that in total will also fix the LP gains. So there we go. There was an actual problem of why the LP gains were so low in the early season. And, partially I was fine with the LP gains being lower because of the promos being gone. But in your first, 50 games, I want to say, in solo queue in the early season, you should be gaining over 20 LP per win. If you've got a neutral or a positive win rate, it should be over 20 LP per win. And I've been in games, I gained like 16 LP one game, and I was like, eh? Like, I'm winning, I'm making my way back to Diamond. Why am I getting 16 LP for that victory? So that was very weird, but hopefully that will be the fix. And obviously that should save some of the questions I've had recently. And I know Reddit kind of blew up about that all type of thing, but there we go. First question, actual though, is what is my overall opinion on junglers right now? Which ones work best and which ones fall off? I think jungle, and it's been true for the past couple of seasons, is the solo queue role. I think if you are deadly serious about just getting LP and you don't care what you play, you should be a jungler, because the jungler is usually the thing that is make or break. If you have an amazing jungler on your team, I would say more often than not you're winning the game. Even if you've got a bad top lane or whatever, the jungler is usually the key, because the jungler can impact all 3 lanes. The jungler can get strong themselves and kill people. The jungler can take all the objectives. And the jungler can also heavily deny the other jungler. So I think jungle is like the role to climb on if you're really wanting to climb. I've fallen off a little bit with jungle. I'm not a massive fan of the meta right now. I honestly, I will say, as crazy as it sounds, I miss one champion from the jungle. If one champion was strong, I would return. And that's Lee Sin. I used to be a massive Lee Sin player. He was my most played champion for 3 seasons. And he sucks right now, and it's the way that it's going to be. I doubt Lee Sin really ever will be proper meta again. The reason for it is he's an early game jungler. His scaling sucks compared to the likes of Rengar, Kha'Zix, all these kind of mid to late game one-shot champions. Lee can't do that. It just isn't how he's designed. And unless you get really fed in the early game and the game ends at 20 minutes, it's just a bit rough to play Lee Sin right now, so that kind of sucks. But as for the junglers, I still think there's the patch notes is definitely still missing off champions that deserve to be nerfed. Kayn, I think, is still ridiculous at the moment. He's pick or ban right now. If you don't ban him, there's usually a Kayn. Same goes with Kha'Zix. You always are seeing like champions that I will say that the easy way to tell if a champion is strong. How often are you seeing it in game? especially in the higher ranks. People play the best champions the higher rank you go. If you're seeing the likes of Kha'Zix, Graves, Echo, Kayn, if they're not banned, they are in the game, that is telling you what champions are just a little bit too strong. But there's that. As for champions that fall off, yeah, I said Lee Sin, he kind of falls off. But, you know, as I would say always is, the thing with League of Legends, it is vastly different, the video game, depending where you are in the rating spectrum. You know, some people don't want to hear that, but that is just true. And if I would say you are below even Diamond nowadays, play anything you want. Just don't troll, play the champion in its intended role, and that it's not going to be the champion that's holding you back. It will be more the player. So it's not a big deal. How do I detail on League? It's a personal question. You know, everyone details differently. I've always said that I sometimes stop playing League and I go do a different thing and I just go win at that. So, for example, it could be anything. Like, you could be playing League, you're tilted a bit. You could go play FIFA, win a game of FIFA, and go back on League. You have that winner's mentality back. It can be any single game you want. But one thing I've been doing, and I think people have noticed, is I've been playing support recently when I'm a little bit... I would genuinely say I haven't been tilted at all yet in Season 11. I've been frustrated. There's been some really bad games, like with some very questionable players, but I haven't been truly tilted and frustrated. So I've been just playing support just to stop the inevitable tilt if it were to continue. And it's been going quite well. I have good performance on support. I could chill on the role a little bit more. And overall, it's been working for me. But again, results may vary because everybody's different. One of my predictions for the reworks of any of the champions. So the 5 champions that obviously are a option were Skarner, Udyr, Shyvana, Nocturne, and something else that I can't remember. I voted for Udyr, and I don't know, like... Fundamentally, I think most of the champions they're going to keep somewhat the same. I think for the Shyvana one, right, like they gave a bit of an overview that they was like the Shyvana one, we're wanting to give a more sense of her being a dragon, I think. The Skarner one, I think they said the only thing they'll keep the same is his ultimate, which is actually the thing I think they need to change. Udyr, they said just to bring Udyr in the modern day, so making each of his forms actually be quite useful. And maybe, I don't know, maybe they won't have a Tiger build or a Phoenix build. Maybe it'll all be integrated. I'm not sure. But I can't really predict too much because there's so many different ways that Riot can go. And it just depends how much of the core champion Riot is wanting to keep. I'm somebody that is different to a lot. I am completely okay with Riot looking at an out-of-date champion and completely changing it, but keeping the look the same, the theme the same, but I'm okay if the whole kit changes. But there's many players that are deadly against that, and the reason being, we've said it for ages, is the players that, let's say, Udyr. You're an Udyr main / one trick. That's how you climb. That's how you've got Diamond every single season. Udyr now is completely changed. You're no longer a Diamond Udyr player. You've got to start from the beginning because Udyr is now a new champion. That's the people that don't want the champions really to change. And trust me, there'll be panics of people. Like, these reworks of these votes, I can probably guess that the actual core community of these champions probably don't really want to rework on their champion because they are so like reliant on the champion that is currently what it is now. So it might be a scary prospect to a lot of people. Next question is, what is my opinion on all the cheese picks happening all over the map? People know I don't rate cheese picks very highly. The reason why people cheese is very basic, is people want that LP. Cheesing is the same with other video games like StarCraft 6 pooling, that a Zerg player would 6 pool at the beginning of the game. If it didn't work, they'd probably surrender because they know the cheese just didn't work. It's an all-in strategy usually, that if it doesn't work, it goes really bad. But you're relying, when it comes on cheesing, you're relying on the player against you to not know how to deal with it or tilt because of it. Usually, if you just stay calm, kind of ride out the cheesiness of it, don't get behind too much in lane phase, don't die in lane phase, usually the cheese completely falls off. It relies usually on getting ahead. I'm not a fan of cheese picks. Like, to me, it's the desperation of LP gone mad. So yeah, I'm not a big fan, but I think most people probably aren't. What do I think of the healing problem right now? How are they going to handle it? We've spoken about it in the patch note video I did. I gave a suggestion, which wasn't really my suggestion. It was said in Twitch chat, but clearly the healing problem is still completely out of control. when it comes to self-healing. And again, that's the distinction that a lot of people are having to make, is it's not a Soraka that's healing. They actually just buffed Soraka's healing because that's not an issue. It's not Nami's healing that's an issue. It's lifesteal. It is the Gore Drinker champions. It is the AD carries that are, you know, they're nearly dead and they can auto-attack twice and basically be back to full health. Like, it's mental how much self-healing is in the game. And Grievous Wounds is not an answer for it. Like, it can be if Riot took it seriously, but a 40% healing reduction is not enough because of how crazy the healing is. The 60% healing reduction that some of the legendary items have is not enough. That is the point. They need to tone down the self-healing completely. Like, I think it's ridiculous that people can, like, literally auto-attack a couple times and bam, they're back to full health. I think that's just so anti-skill. It's unbelievable. The only way that I can see them genuinely fixing it is make Grievous Wounds affect self-healing. Like, that, because the suggestion that I gave, I should have kind of expanded it a bit more. I was like, if you're affected by Grievous Wounds, no healing. What really the flesh out should be is maybe no self-healing. Maybe then, and again, maybe like lifesteal or like item-based healing, because someone did say like, oh, Vladimir would get completely ruined. True, but maybe like item lifesteal, like lifesteal from items is denied when Grievous Wounds is attached, but that means you can still be healed by a Soraka. You can still press your summoner spell heal. It just means you don't have lifesteal from your 2 or 3 items and then you're back to full health straight away. Maybe that would be the fix, but obviously a lot of people would probably cry about that. But it is a problem, and I think it's only a bigger problem the higher rating you go, because people are knowing, you know, when you've got an AD carry that is perfectly auto-attacking or a top laner that's perfectly auto-attacking, the lifesteal is just crazy when they're not cancelling any autos. It's just nuts. But yeah, hopefully they'll be able to fix it. How do I think League could solve the high damage problem? Just, it's as simple as tone down the percentages. To me, they just need to think of a dial that they've made the percentages weight. Like, again, someone worked out, if you look at damage done and all that stuff compared to before preseason and then when the new items come, the average champion's damage done went up 30%. So it's like Riot just took a dial and made it go up 30%. They just need to get that dial and just tone it down like 30%. The damage was fine. Nobody I know complained about how much damage was done last season. The damage was still quite high. It's just now gone ludicrous. But there's that. What is my favourite memory for the past 5 years, etc.? I'll keep it relevant to the YouTube channel, etc. 100%. I've had a few, and I'd say thank you guys for supporting what I do and letting me have amazing memories and stuff. But the experience and memory that I don't think I'll forget for a very long time was League 10. The League 10 event in London was the celebration of League of Legends being 10 years old, and to be one of the 500 people that was invited from basically across the world. As a thank you from Riot, really. That's what it was, to be like, thank you for what you do, and we're going to have chats to you and show you things, and it was just mental. Like, I have so many fond memories. I met a lot of people that, you know, if you're an online gamer, probably yourself, you have friends that you have never met before. That was a great meeting place, and also meeting old friends. You know, I haven't saw a couple of those people in a few years, and I got to say hello to them again. A lot of Rioters were coming up to me, which was a surreal experience. And one of the biggest is I got to speak to the CEO of Riot, and that wasn't like organized or anything. My desk was in like the UK part, because they kind of put all the languages together, which makes sense. And this, like, the CEO of Riot, I think his name is Nikolai or something, he was like in the middle of this massive convention hall. And he was chatting to people all the time, Rioters, whatever, and then I saw no one was with him. And he, to be fair, he was playing LOR, the card game, because that was like a big announcement, and we got to play LOR early. And I was like, screw it. When am I going to get the chance to go talk to the CEO of Riot? So I went up to him, and I had like maybe a 10-minute conversation with him, all about League and what do I do, and thanks obviously for the game and the new stuff coming out. He wanted to hear my opinions about it. And I did. Like, whenever am I going to get that opportunity again? Probably never. And it was great. Like, I was buzzing. I was walking back and people literally like, I can't believe you just did that. I was like, nor can I, but I did. So it was just great. It was all around a good experience. And then combining that, we got to stay at the Hard Rock Hotel in the middle of London. And if you know anything about the Hard Rock hotels, they are done up really well. They're really fancy schmancy. You know, in the elevator lobby, Jimi Hendrix's guitar was framed in the elevator lobby. It was so cool. Completely for free. Everything was free. Our travel was free. The food, well, food technically, there was food there, but we went out for dinner both nights, with the night before and then the night we left and went to go other places for dinner. But it was just such a great experience. So many rioters coming up to me saying hi. Was one of the select streamers that I was chosen to stream up in the pod. Some of you may remember that photo where you can see all the PCs behind me. It was just like, the way that I'll explain it is there's been a few things in League, you know, that I like to think what I do is good overall. And I try to be a positive influence on the community. And one of those moments like League 10 was kind of a nod to, that's what you're doing. Because there weren't toxic people invited or people with drama or controversies. Like, they weren't there. And that's happened a few times. Even recently, you know, the Welcome to the Season 11 live stream, at the end of it, there was a message from different creators. I was in that 3 times. You know, I was tied as the most person in it. I had more airtime in that than Faker. That's mental. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just, those are the moments that you're just kind of like, hell yeah, dude. And they drive you a lot. And I'd say the other mentionable one that I do want to say out loud is it's to do with you guys. So we've all had a very weird year now, and all of us are dealing with it in different ways. But a memorable moment that I do not mind sharing is all the messages that I've got from you guys. The private messages, the messages even when I'm streaming, the occasional YouTube comment saying, keep making content. It's helping me through whatever we're going through. That will always stay with me. Like, never will leave me, because it's helped me a lot. You know, it genuinely has, and thank you for that, because some of them have, I say, made me cut onions, you know, but yeah, no, it's been pretty special to be able to be here for you guys, and you guys are here for me. You know, that's the point. So thank you for that, and we're gonna keep going. That's the point. But yeah, thank you. Moving on. Do I think supports will ever get the recognition they deserve when it comes to general play team fights? If I'm completely honest, probably no, not by the general player base, because the general player base, the average player, is not looking at what a support is doing. The average player wants to see many kills and high damage, and clearly that's not what a support is. So the answer to that, unfortunately, is probably no. But again, the higher rating you go, pro play, I'm trying to be better about it. I'm trying to recognize supports when they do good things. I'm playing more support myself, and it's frustrating when, like, we played Rel, we did some amazing things, and no one said anything. So yeah, like, I don't think they'll ever get the recognition by the greater public of League, but they do deserve it. Next up is not League related, but any wishes for a new Pokemon game later this year or early next year? Yes. I want Pokemon Let's Go 2. Johto, so Gen 2. I am a massive Pokemon fan. Played Pokemon since beginning. I'm older than Pokemon, believe it or not. Yeah, I'm an old man. I'm 26. So I grew up with Pokemon. I'm still very much attached to it. I don't watch the shows or anything like that, but you can see these folders if you look at the camera. These folders that are blurred out, they are the original Pokemon sets. I have the first 4 Pokemon sets, original ones from the 90s, completed, you know, all of them. So I like Pokemon. I really do. And I've played all the games, you know, some more than others, admittingly, and I've enjoyed more than others. And I'll be honest, the only Pokemon campaign that I've never completed was Sun and Moon. Just didn't enjoy it. But the most fun experience I've had in Pokemon, I'd say at least for about 10 years, was Pokemon Let's Go. I thought it was fantastic. It was a bit more casual, which already Pokemon was quite casual, but it just was so much more immersive for the Pokemon to pop up in the world, and it just felt cooler. I don't know why. And I might, you know, I've been always tempted to reset that game and go again, but I'm generally a player that will play a game once and then move on. So I want Gen 2. Give me Gen 2 of Pokemon Let's Go. There are rumours of it, that I think the rumours at the moment of Pokemon Let's Go Pichu, and let's go whatever the Marill baby is called. That's the rumor. But there's also a rumor that apparently a Pearl and Diamond or Black and White, I can't remember which one, but there's a remake of that apparently also in rumors. So I'm not really sure what they're doing, but I'll be playing it regardless. I did enjoy the most latest Pokemon that came out. I streamed it a little bit, but that was fun. But still not as enjoyable to me as Let's Go. I still, by the way, play Pokemon Go a little bit. I've got back into it here or there because I'm looking, with fitness. I'm upping my strength levels, and I'm also wanting just to have a bit more cardio strength here or there. So I've got back into Pokemon Go a bit. Next up is, do I think they should release a champion whose kit is strictly for healing reduction if they keep healing as it is? That would be a really cool concept. I would not mind that at all. So literally a champion that is all about anti-healing. Now obviously the worth thing saying here is that champion would clearly be public enemy number 1 of some champions, and one tricks or mains would literally permaban it. But it would be a cool concept. I would not mind that at all. It would be quite interesting. There's obviously grievous wounds in some champions kits, like Katarina Ultimate for some reason does it. But as we mentioned earlier, right now grievous wounds is not enough. Like it's just simply not enough. They do too much healing for even grievous wounds to affect. So yeah, I don't know. It would be interesting. I think I don't know how you would do it. Like, obviously, there are some, like, Renekton with his empowered W now breaks shields, so that's an anti-shield mechanic. So I don't know if they could just introduce a new mechanic that's not grievous wounds, it's something else. Or, obviously, the basic thing is that they should probably just fix the healing. Or, again, we have to say self-healing. But I'm up for champions that do different things, One of my biggest, I'd say, complaints about the new champions in League over the last year or two, they're not, I'm going to say this and it might be controversial, they're quite boring in that I kind of miss, they all kind of look, how do I say this without being offensive? They all kind of look like they're designed to be in a band, if you know what I mean. One of the champions literally was designed to be in a band, let's be honest. But like all of them, they're all that kind of amazingly good looking, muscular dude, or the pretty, really slim girl, and they're all humans. Where's the Yordles? Where's the monster champions? It seems that Riot's gone completely away from them. So I'd kind of, and Yumi doesn't count, by the way. I kind of want Riot to go away from just have another human male champion that's skinny and muscular, or big and beefy and muscular. Make something else. We've had the last 10 champions, I'd say 8 or 9 of them have basically been the same thing. But that's just me. Next up is, have I gotten into LOR, or have I determined it's not my type of game? Again, I played it, League 10. I was one of the first, literally, I can say this for the rest of my life, I was one of the first ever people to publicly play that game. One of the first people ever to stream that game, because I was streaming it from the event. I enjoyed it, but it just didn't grab me. And if I were to play a card game, and I know this is, I'm a Riot partner, so I probably shouldn't say this, but I think Hearthstone just does it better. And I used to play Hearthstone, and yeah, I just think Hearthstone does it better. If I were to play an online card game, I'd probably just play Hearthstone again. So that's kind of it. And then finally, again, turning off chat has been the best thing for your mental. Any other tips to avoid tilt? Again, tilt comes 2 different ways, I think. The big way is you care about the game. That's the point. You care about your LP, you care about the game, and you're being let down in one way or another. Either your teammates are letting you down, you're letting yourself down, or you're embarrassed about how you're playing and the teammates are flaming you or mentioning it, and that's tilting you too. That's one way. The other way is, and obviously this is a bit of a delicate subject, but tilt, you could also call it that some people do have issues that they may need to work through, and maybe ranked League of Legends just isn't the best thing for those players to play right now, and obviously that's another type as well. So the big thing that I have to say, and this is for all of that encompassing, is it's a video game. It's okay not to be an insane rating. It's okay not to climb right now. It's okay just to have fun. You have permission to have fun, and that's fine. So look after yourself is primary number one. If you're going through a rough time right now, you've just been let go from your job, or you've got essays to do for university, or your relationship's a bit, don't stress about ranked. You don't have to be playing it. Take it easy, especially with all the year that we've all just had. It's okay, it genuinely is okay. And I think when you learn that, that is something that I'm having to get better at. And League is my job, and I'm even like, take it easy. It's not worth it. It's not worth getting worked up. I think then you make yourself a better player because you're less invested into the actual LP and you're more invested on just playing the game well. So yeah, just play it like a video game. But that is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all doing well. I genuinely do mean that. I do care about my audience a lot. And again, thanks for the ongoing support. The YouTube channel is doing pretty solid. The Twitch stream is doing amazing. And overall, I'm just very, very, very happy with where I am. And again, if you want to support what I do, throwing a like on the video, throwing a comment, that helps. And if you already do that, the ways that you can go further is below the video. There's my description. You can click show more there. There's always my sponsors. A bunch of you have bought PCs by our new sponsor, Apex. A lot of you have bought other things, the Steel series, the Barna computer glasses, the chairs, Secret Labs. A lot of you have been quite active with those links and partnerships, and thank you for that. Like that goes a long way. It's surprising as a content creator that yes, you're kind of focused on your Twitch income or your YouTube income, but all those affiliate and partnership links added up. It's actually quite surprising. So again, thank you for that as well. But anyway, that's going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, do throw a like on the video, throw a comment, throw a subscribe. See you guys next time. Peace.